Hello, class. I'm glad to be here with you, and I look forward to the comments and suggestions that you have for me as I learn how to do this. Um, as the case study says, this is a family of four: a mother, a father, a 17-year-old brother, and a 14-year-old girl who I named Emily, um, who overdosed, attempted suicide by overdosing. Um, After greeting the family and introducing myself, I would ask them to each take a seat wherever they would like, and here's how I would begin. I would like to thank you, Mom, for reaching out and taking the initiative to get help for your family. And I'd like to thank all the rest of you for coming here. I see that as a support for Emily and support for all of you, really. So, um, you've all gone through a very difficult experience, and each of you have experienced it in a certain way. So, I'd like to begin by asking each of you to tell me your version of what happened, and I'll be asking you while you do that. I'll ask you why you think it happened. I'll ask you what you hope for in the future. And I'll ask you about any concerns you have about this event. And I know it sounds a little complicated, but we'll just start by you simply starting your story, and then I'll ask you um, some of these questions as you go along. And I'd like to begin with you, Dad, today. So that's how I would begin the session. And the next part of this would be um, if there, what would I say to the family if the mom and dad started bickering? Okay. So here's what I would say. I say, okay, I'd like to take a step back right now. Okay. There are points of disagreement and tension right now. And in the middle of it, I see and hear a great deal of caring coming from each of you. Do you think that's a fair statement? And here I would pause a bit because I want them to think about a little bit about that, even though there's tension and um, fighting going on, that the root of it is actually caring about what's happening. After pausing, I would say something like this. As we move forward, I would like to hear from you, Mom, first, and then Dad. You'll get a chance to to speak to the concerns that you have, um, and in actuality, these disagreements and areas of disagreement are instructive to us. We can make notes of these things, and we can use that as a kind of blueprint as to where we go next as we work together as a family. And then the third section is wrapping up the session. Now, I don't have specific statements to point to from a family. Um, I haven't heard specific ways that people have told the story of Emily's overdose. Um, in general, I would try to pick up on some of those statements and point out the strengths that I see in them. So I would generally, this is in general statements, this is what I would say. Okay, so each of you have told me your version of the story of what happened. And I actually see many good things in this family. I see a lot of love and caring. And you know, each of you have participated fully in here, and I see that as a willingness and a commitment to work together, to come together in a better way as a family. And that I think shows a high level of commitment to each other. You know, as you go through this next week, I think I'd like each of you to write down one thing that you heard in this session that demonstrates caring from each member of the family to you. So anything that's meaningful to you that demonstrated care from another family member. And then uh, you could also um, write down one small thing that you think um, each the family could do. One small thing, one small change that could be made that might help you as a family as you work together in the future. So that's pretty much what I could up with. And thank you for watching. And I will be really paying a lot of attention to the comments I get. So thank you again in advance.